Hey guys, it's Amona, and in today's video I want to talk all about cravings. So I want to go over some of the most common kinds of cravings, what they actually mean, and then what you can do to fight them. Okay, so I wanted to go over some really common cravings here. I think this is a super normal, natural thing. Everyone has cravings, but if you were getting the same kind of craving all the time, it could mean something. Or even if you're just getting it once in a while, it's actually cool to really look at the science and data and figure out what your craving means and then figure out ways that you can combat it. So I want to go through a bunch of different kinds of cravings. We're going to talk about soda, ice, like salty potato chips and french fries, chocolate, sweets. Go through all of them really quickly, tell you what they mean, and then how you can combat them. So the first thing I want to talk about is soda. Now there's two things with soda that could be causing your craving, and they're actually really interesting. The first thing is caffeine. So it might not be the actual soda that you're craving, but it might just be the caffeine that's in the soda. Maybe it's giving you that like afternoon energy boost, which probably also lead to a crash, but that's something to think about. The other thing is that craving soda could actually mean that you are deficient in calcium. So carbonated drinks like soda have phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid can actually leak calcium from your bones. So it could take the calcium that you have stored in your body and actually make you deficient. So there's two different ways to go about this and think about it. Pretty easy to figure out. If you really feel like you are addicted to soda and you can't stop drinking it, there's two things I'd recommend. Number one, go get a blood test, see how your calcium levels are. If they're low, then definitely start adding more calcium to your diet. This could be from broccoli, kale, cruciferous veggies, even a calcium supplement. It's a really easy fix, but definitely get that checked out. The other thing is maybe try switching out your soda for a really healthy caffeine alternative. So healthy caffeine, I'm referring to things like green tea, matcha, organic coffee, even like an organic cold brew coffee, which can be really refreshing if you want something to kind of switch out that drink during the day. That could be a really great substitute. And see if when you switch out for those drinks, if you still crave the soda. If you don't, then you know it's just the caffeine and that's really what you're craving. Either way, I highly recommend trying something like this, or at least cutting back on soda, because it's really not good for you and there are ways to just kind of train yourself not to want it as much. So obviously cutting something out that you're really used to eating or really craving can be hard. So meanwhile, before you really get to that point, if you want something that you can substitute or an alternative, my favorite soda alternative is Zevia. It's a really great healthy soda. It's basically sweetened with stevia, which is one of the only sweeteners I like. Still gives you that craving. It's really good. It's refreshing. You could also try a sparkling water with some lime or lemon. Sometimes the carbonation in that just cold, refreshing drink can really do the trick. The next thing I want to talk about is ice. And I know this might sound really weird, but I've personally craved ice before. So if I have, I'm sure someone out there watching this has too. Like sometimes literally getting a cup of crushed ice and crunching on it is so satisfying to me. So this actually could mean something. So if you are craving ice all the time, some data has shown that this could mean you're anemic or you're a little bit low in iron, because the process of chewing ice can increase blood flow to the brain, and when you're low in iron, that actually decreases blood flow to the brain. Now, I don't know if this is something you've ever experienced, but look, if you're craving ice all the time, it might be worth checking out. Get a blood test, see what's going on, and maybe you need a little more iron in your diet. Now let's talk about chocolate. I feel like this is a very common one. I know a lot of you watching this definitely have chocolate cravings. I love chocolate. If you are craving chocolate all the time, and this doesn't mean like if you enjoy chocolate and like of course you're going to enjoy the taste of it. This is like if you're really craving it and you feel like your body needs it. But this could actually mean one of two things. The first is that you are deficient in magnesium, and the second is that you're actually going through a period of depression or low mood, or maybe you're going through something difficult in your life. So the reason behind this is, number one, chocolate can be a great source of magnesium. So if you are craving it, oftentimes your body will tell you what you need. It's actually really cool. So if your body is craving a specific food, it could mean that it's actually craving the nutrient that's in that food, which is the magnesium. So a way to combat this would be to eat other foods that are really high in magnesium. Like almonds are really great. Maybe I could do a little list below this video of some other suggested foods that are high in magnesium. When it comes to mood, studies have shown that eating chocolate can actually increase the release of dopamine and serotonin. And dopamine and serotonin are our happy neurotransmitters. These are the ones that make us feel good. They're feel-good chemicals. So if you notice you're eating a lot of chocolate, maybe just think about what situation you're going through in life. Notice if your mood's been a little bit down, and definitely get to the root of that problem. It's always best to treat the problem at the root instead of just covering it up with a Band-Aid or even emotional eating. The next thing I want to talk about is sweets. So this is something a lot of people love and crave, and if you find that you are craving sweets all the time, whether it's like candy or any source of sugar, this could mean that you are not getting good quality sleep. So there was a study done, and it compared two groups of people, and even being shorted just 1 hour of sleep could like drastically increase your craving for like sweets and sugary foods. Whereas the people who were not shorted on sleep and had that extra hour were craving like lean protein and vegetables, and they really documented the difference in this. So I mean, this is just one reason of a million why sleep is so important. It's important for weight loss, for stress, for energy, and now for cravings. So make sure that you are not only getting a good amount of sleep, but also good quality sleep. And some short-term tips on fighting cravings for sweets, or if you just get like a general craving, if this isn't something that's like that serious long-term, I highly recommend trying a date. Trying a date earlier in the day, even just having half of one, putting it in a smoothie. This can really help combat sugar cravings later in the day. And also just, you know, this might sound a little cliche, but replacing it with healthy sweet foods, like healthy dried fruit. Like goji berries are my favorite, dates, those are my two favorite dried fruits. Fresh fruit's amazing. And just really trying to figure out what kind of sweet craving it is. You could also try making like a healthy hot chocolate. It's one of my favorite ways to combat like a sweet tooth late at night. My favorite brand is Four Sigmatic. You can also just take literally some almond milk and put a little bit of cacao and stevia, and it makes a really nice warm hot chocolate drink at night. That's a way to combat that. And the last craving I want to talk about is my personal biggest craving, something like French fries or potato chips, that kind of like salty, fatty food. So this could mean that your body is deficient in healthy fats like omegas. So if your body's craving any kind of omega fat, that could be, you know, what the problem is. So my suggestion here is to try replacing foods like that with healthier fats like almonds, walnuts, pecans, avocado. See if that does the trick. And meanwhile, if you're really having that craving and you need something to satisfy it right away, I would recommend like a healthier form of like a salty food. Normally I don't love salt, but if you are going to go between potato chips and like salted almonds, definitely go for the salted almonds. Even something like popcorn, sometimes it's just the crunchiness. So try to figure out if it's the crunchy you're craving, if it's the salt you're craving, or if it's the fat you're craving, and then you can go from there and find alternatives. If it's just the salt, like I said, I would even do like some sea salt on like some fresh veggies or cucumbers, like a Persian cucumber with some sea salt. It's my personal fave. You could also do, like I said, mixed nuts that have a little bit of sea salt. That will kind of help combat that craving. If it's just the crunchiness, I would try to get like a healthy chip. You could get a kale chip, even like a gluten-free pretzel, veggie chips. These are just something to like eat when you just almost want that mindlessness a little bit. And even some healthy popcorn. That's a great one, great alternative to it. And lastly, just to close this video, just a few little tips on cravings in general. One of the best things you can do is to really just change your scenery, because you'll be surprised how much you crave routine. Like sometimes you wake up and you have to have that latte with creamer in the morning, or you have to have like that bagel with cream cheese. If you switch up things, it can really change your brain's like, okay, well now I don't need this routine or this habit that I'm doing. You could maybe rearrange things in your kitchen or take a different route to work. For me personally, if it's late at night and I'm craving something, I'll even just like wash my face, brush my teeth, take a shower, and just kind of doing other things to keep me busy will just distract me from a momentary craving that I have that wouldn't be good for me in the long run. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's short and sweet, just little tips on cravings. If you have any specific questions on cravings or tips that you have, leave them in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.